Hello all. Today we shall read a stone inscription. A stone inscription is typically called a Shila Shasanam in Sanskrit. Stone was used as a medium of recording to record proclamations or commemorations. They were not used for everyday recording purposes, they were used reserved for special purposes. Now, this stone inscription is written in Telugu script, and it is not the modern Telugu script, but an older version of the Telugu script, and hence we assume that it is also in an older version of the Telugu language. Whatever you are seeing on the screen is not the exact stone, but it is an image of the impression of the inscription. This inscription begins with a symbol which can be seen over here. Yeah, it begins with this particular symbol. This symbol looks more like an abstract chakra, the Vaishnavite chakra, what we see with a circle and containing a dot or another smaller circle with with a couple, three projections over here. Typically, a Vaishnavite chakra would have four projections, but I assume one of the projections has been lost to time. This chakra, or what I'm calling a chakra, is just the beginning of this particular inscription and does not have anything to do with the content of the inscription. Now, this chakra seems to indicate that this is the beginning of the inscription. Typically, a beginning would start with Swasti or Swasti Shri or Shubhamastu or Avignamastu, such salutations for auspiciousness. But instead of any such salutation, this has this particular chakra. Uh, It is fairly rare to find in India such chakras, but perhaps in one of the earliest forms this was used, which we are not really aware of. But we also see that this does exist in where other Indic cultures where any text would typically begin with a symbol. The symbol would not have any phonetic value or a linguistic value as such, but it would have an inherent meaning, which would say that the uh, it is the beginning of a text, or it is the sometimes it even symbolizes the nature of the text. Typically it is used by the Tibetans, where they use something known as a yigo yigo, if I'm pronouncing it right, and similarly a Balinese people would use a pamada. So in this particular inscription a chakra has been used. Then the after the chakra, the actual text of the inscription begins. It says Shakabdamulu Sahasramu. The first line of it reads as Shakabdamulu Sahasramu. We should observe the Sha over here. A typical Telugu Sha is written as such, Sha, a palatal sibilant. But over here we see that this Sha, the palatal sibilant, has been written as such. Shakabdamulu, the Shakabdamulu, the rest of the ligatures are fairly similar, with the exception that this mu is more similar to Kannada mu rather than the Telugu mu. A Telugu mu is written as such, but uh, on the contrary, the mu over here is written as such. Shakabdamulu Sahasramu. So Shakabdamulu means the years of a given era. Over here it refers to the Shalivahana Shakam or Shalivahana era. Now, Shakabdamuలు సహస్రమును మున్నూట ముప్పదియో. So typically in Telugu, traditionally, not just in Telugu, even in most of the Indian languages, the words would not have a space. That is, there would not be a space demarcating the ending or beginning of a word. This feature in Indian languages, the way we write in modern times, is a borrowing from English. Due to the British colonialism, this feature has been incorporated into English, into the Indian languages from English. Indian languages would write the text in one continuous format without any uh, gaps or any spaces differentiating or demarcating words. In fact, there was no need to identify words due to the grammatical and phonetic values, such as there would be determiners, which would indicate that the previous word has ended, and even the place value of the previous word, the grammatical value, the part of the speech to which it belongs to, is indicated by the inflection or a determiner in as the case may be. Also, the grammatical components such as sandhi, which is a phonetic conjunction, or a samasa, which is the uh, conjunction of two different words, enables the usage of a continuous text without any spaces. And if the line has to broken, it has to be broken. It would be arbitrarily broken. Uh, so the same word, part of the word might reside in the previous line, and the next part of the word might reside in the next line. Such is the case over here, where it says that sahasramo. It is, though this word sahasramo in itself is a word, but when we read the next sentence, we realize that it doesn't end there. The word ends with sahasramono, which says that sahasram is 1,000, sahasramo is means 1,000, sahasramono means to 1,000, to 1,000. Munnu Munnuda Munnunda. So Munnuru is an older word which means 300. The current word in usage is Moodu Vandalu. So instead of that, currently Munnuru was an early Telugu word. Munnuru is still used in Tamil and even to a certain degree in Kannada. Munnuta means once again to 300. So what it says is 1,000 to which a 300 is added, to which muppadiyo. It is quite obvious that it doesn't end over here. We should read the next sentence. Muppadiyo kandu ముప్పదియొక్కండు కండును ముప్పదియొక్కండును కండును నైన భవ్య సంఖ్య కండును నైన భవ్య సంఖ్య వరలు. So it says that సహస్రమును మున్నూట ముప్పదియొక్కండును, which means that to 1,000 a 300 is added, to which a 30 and a 1 are added. Muppadi yokkadindu. So okati, from okkati uh, from muppai okati comes muppadinu okati comes from the word muppadi yokkandunu. So it means that a 31 is added to a 300, which is in itself has been added to 1,000. So the total word over here is the total number which has been indicated over here is 1,331. This is the Shalivahana era. So Shalivahana era 1331 corresponds to the 1409 or 1409 or 1410 AD of the Christian era or the Gregorian era, which we currently follow. So this inscription in all probability was written in 1409 or 1410 AD. Then it says Bhavya Sankhya. Here the word Bhavya Sankhya is a Bhavya is a wonderful. Bhavya Sankhya is a number, a wonderful number. So if we see the number 1331 is a palindrome in nature, so the beauty of this number has been identified by the writer over here, by the scribe over here. 1331, the number as such, is a perfect cube. Now, whether the writer intended to highlight the fact that it is a perfect cube, that is, the writer had a mathematical knowledge or wanted people to appreciate it for its mathematical beauty, or if he wanted it to be appreciated for its palindromic beauty, or if he wanted it to be appreciated to the symbolic beauty. In fact, in the Western countries and many other cultures, 1331 is associated with a lot of symbolism. Whether such a symbolism existed in ancient India or not, we are entirely unaware of. So, the intention of why the writer calls it a Bhavya Sankhya, that is a wonderful number, 1331, is lost to time, and we are not really privy to the fact. But what is important over here is that he considers 1331 to be a wonderful and an important number on some parameter about which we are unaware of. Now, then it says Varula. Over here, we should identify this thing. This symbol is called a bandira. Bandira does exist in Telugu. It existed even in modern Telugu till recent times, perhaps sometime up till the early 90s. Since the late 90s, Bandira has been gradually eliminated from the Telugu script. Elision of Bandira from Telugu is one of the most misfortunate things to have ever happened, because Bandira is one of the characteristic features of Telugu language. The Bandira exists only in the Dravidian languages such as Telugu, Tamil, and Malayalam, and eliminating a characteristic feature of the language is a great disservice which modern Telugus have done to the language out of their own laziness. It says, Virodhi Samvatsarambuna Phalguna. Phalguna. Once again, over here, Pa should be observed over here. Modern Pa in Telugu is written as such, but traditionally a Pa would be written as, or the a more ancient form of Pa would be written as such. So this is a Pa. Phalgunambuna uh, Bahula. Bahula. This is a La. This La, once again, in modern Telugu, the La is written as such, but in older forms we find La to be something like this. So this is very similar to the modern Ka. Bahula Pakshambuna, Paksham, this is a Ksha, Pakshambuna, Pakshambu, Vidya, Shukravarambuna, Shukravarambuna. So we'll stop over here and analyze the previous things over here once again. Virodhi Samvatsarambu. Virodhi is the name of the Samvatsara. When we tally with the cyclic times, and when we back calculate our the time cycles and the year names over here, we find that Virodhi Samvatsara exactly falls in 1409 or 1410 AD. So that really that clarifies the fact, or uh, that confirms the fact that that whatever we assumed, that this is a Shalivahana Samvat of 1331 era, is proper. Our assumption is proper because it coincides with wherever Virodhi should fall in. Virodhi Nama Samvatsara, or the year Virodhi, should fall in the Shalivahana era. Then he says Samvatsarambula Phalguna. Phalguna month is the last month of the Indian calendar, of the Indian lunisolar calendar. So and it typically falls sometime during the February or March of the Gregorian calendar. Phalgunambuna Bahula. Bahula Paksham is the dark fortnight. Bahula Pakshambuna Vidya. Vidya is the second date. So till here it is the date which has been signified. What it says is, on the second day of the dark fortnight of the Phalguna month of the 1331st year of the Shalivahana era is the date on which this inscription has been written. And the day was Shukravaram. Shukravaram is Friday. When we back calculate the date, that is the Vidya 1331 Shalivahana era, Phalguna Bahula Vidya, when we see that, it falls on 2nd March 1410, 2nd March 1410 AD. And that incidentally also falls in Shukravaram, that is on a Friday. So that really confirms our timing of this inscription. This inscription was really written on 2nd March 1410 AD as per the Grecian calendar. Then it says Shukravarambuna Shubha Muhurtambuna. Here it says Shubha Muhurtambuna. Shubha Muhurtambuna means on an auspicious time of 2nd March 1410 AD. This inscription was written. If you like the contents of this particular video and the contents of this particular inscription, please do not forget to click upon the like button, and also do share it with your friends and relatives, and also do subscribe to my channel. If you are privy to some manuscript or privy to some inscriptions, please do not forget to send those to me. I'd be glad to read those inscriptions or manuscripts and decipher it for you. Thank you and have a wonderful day.